So why should you pay a little bit more on commission than less in real estate?
Real estate. Well, I think it's when it comes to value, when it comes to service, you really sometimes have to pay a little bit extra to get a better service. I know agents out there, I'm not going to name any names obviously, that are charging 1.5% or 2%, just for their side of business, and that's fine and everything, but the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So if
the way you do anything.
The way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Ooh.
So if you're charging low fares, if you're charging cheap commission, that just reflects maybe you are give a cheap service, and maybe you don't, but you really got to have a self-image for your business and your value.
Well, even if you don't, there's only so many hours in the day and in the month and whatever that we all share, meaning if you are charging less, that means you'd have to do more people to keep up with a lifestyle, correct?
Absolutely.
So if you're not getting more hours in the day and you're charging less, there's an old Chinese proverb: good things aren't cheap, and cheap things are seldom good. Oh, right?
Yep.
But think about it. Now, why would someone do that? I mean, there's a lot of disruption going on in real estate. So I can understand why maybe people would think they need to do that.
I guess they're just, their mindset is maybe they don't believe they're worth more. I don't know what the case is, but if you're a client, if you're someone that's thinking about buying a house or someone that's thinking about selling a house, and you want to go for the cheaper commission to save money, I understand what you're doing. You want to definitely keep as much money possible, but really think about what you're doing then, because maybe a house doesn't sell enough time, maybe your house is not going to have as much exposure, or maybe the process is not going to be as legitimate, or whatever the case is. All I'm saying is the way you pay more money, maybe you pay just a percentage or two more in commission, you want to you'll get a better value usually.
Well, so think of it like this. That makes sense based on who you're dealing with. If the person has a belief system that they're going to charge less to keep up with the ever-evolving market, inadvertently that would logically mean they need more business just to make the same money, which they can't be in more places at once. And even if they hired someone to help them, that means they're making less right there. So no matter what you do, logically, they're going to be giving less service because they've got less time.
Yep.
So that belief system, let's take the opposite belief system. Someone that believes in their service, wouldn't they charge more money?
Absolutely.
Because the service is the outcome of the belief.
Absolutely.
Which triggers the action or the habits, correct?
Absolutely. So when you go to
reverse psychology.
If you go to your doctor, they're not going to say, well, we're going to charge you less because I'm not as experienced a doctor. That just does not happen. It's like you go to the doctor because he's taking care of your health. At the end of the day, just know your value. Don't go out there and charge less for your service. Definitely you have to have some kind of worth for your business and yourself, and your self-image and your business self-image has to be on point towards what your ultimate vision is in your business.
I love it.
I don't even know if that makes sense, but
no, it does, because if you believe you're less, you'll be less to others.
Yeah, and you'll attract less.
And I can empathize big time with any agent who's charging less, because if we look at the world, Uber and Lyft and taxis, right?
Yeah.
New technology comes out. It hurts. It does hurt jobs right away, right? We don't know what the future is going to bring.
Right.
Now, but take that tech and put it into real estate. There's a lot of companies that are making it easy for customers to do real estate almost without the agent.
Right.
So you got a lot of competition. There's also a lot more agents than there was 10 years ago.
Right.
Obviously, we know why.
Right.
So you got a lot of competition.
Right.
At the end of the day, you're dealing with people who are also in a good market and want to get the most on their house. So there's all these variables for you to think, I got to just charge less. But that's when you commoditize yourself.
Yeah.
So it's that belief system.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm thinking about, there's a lot of realtors that will come and leave. But at the end of the day, if you have your service and you provide the same value that you started from the beginning all the way to as long as you do business, people will remember that.
Yeah.
And then if your value stays the same, your brand stays consistent, your business will be consistent as well.
Great example. Walmart owns the discount market, there's a new book out, Scott Galloway, called The Big Four, and he talks about how there's only a very small percentage of companies that can win at the discount market, like the low margin. And that's because they've got the market share to be able to set that up with the distributors and have that leverage.
Okay.
Not everyone can do that. Where the real wealth is where he makes this point in that book, is the luxury market. Like an iPhone.
Right.
An iPhone is way more money than all the other ones.
Absolutely.
Because, I'll quote another book, Stephen M.R. Covey, the junior of Stephen Covey, the guy that wrote 7 Highly Effective Habits.
Yep.
He has a book called The Speed of Trust. And it's the trust or the belief consumers have in someone or something to solve their problem, that they're willing to pay more money.
Yep.
So you got to get really clear on who you are, what your value is, what your worth is, and how you're going to get the job done. And you will then be able to articulate that to the world so they'll pay whatever amount.
Yep. Don't cheapen out. You know, if you want to buy a house, want to sell a house, or if you're an agent and are doing business, and you know, when a client asks you, can you lower your commission, just say no. Do you have any other questions?
There you go.
I got that from Mike Ferry, by the way.
Well, Mike Ferry, he's an aggressive guy.
Absolutely.
No, I hear you. I get that. It makes sense. If all the other guys are dropping their pants, I just got to know what's more important: the amount that you pay or what you net.